27 severe warnings in one night. At least one person killed. Power knocked out across 4 states. That was round 1. 48 hours later, the National Weather Service took a step it reserves for less than 1% of all tornado events, declaring a tornado emergency across the same battered Midwest corridor. Round 2 had arrived, and what was driving it this time was far more dangerous. Tornado season in the Midwest has always carried a certain weight, but the numbers from 2025 tell a different story. The National Centers for Environmental Information logged 1,558 tornadoes nationwide that year, well above the 20-year average of 1,200 to 1,300. For Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa, the counts didn't just edge past their usual marks, they soared, with each state recording more tornadoes than their typical share. The difference wasn't just in quantity. The 2025 data shows a higher proportion of stronger tornadoes, with more storms reaching EF2 or greater strength compared to the long-term baseline. For communities across the central Midwest, the sense of unease never really faded. Instead of the usual rhythm, storm, recovery, and a return to normal, towns found themselves bracing for the next threat before the last one had even faded from memory. Sirens became a regular part of the soundscape. School drills, emergency kits, and shelter plans felt less like preparation and more like routine. The season's unrelenting pace left little room to regroup or repair, and every new warning landed on nerves already stretched thin. In this environment, the demand for clearer, sharper alerts grew urgent, not as a precaution, but as a necessity for survival. A tornado emergency is not just another step up from a warning, it's the final rung on the alert ladder. The National Weather Service reserves this designation for moments when a violent tornado is confirmed to be on the ground and moving into a populated area. It's not a forecast or a possibility, it's a direct confirmation, backed by both radar and spotter reports, that a large destructive tornado is already causing or about to cause catastrophic damage. The words used are blunt by design. Complete destruction possible. Flying debris will be deadly. Seek shelter immediately. This level of urgency is rare. Out of the thousands of tornado warnings issued across the country each year, about 2,000 annually, well under 1% are ever upgraded to a tornado emergency. The emergency alert system echoes the same language, cutting through television, radio, and mobile devices with a single message. This is a life-threatening situation, and immediate action is required. Mobile homes will be destroyed, structures may not survive, and anyone caught outside faces grave danger. In the Midwest, where warnings are a familiar sound, the tornado emergency stands apart. It means the window for decisions has closed. This isn't a time to watch the sky or check the radar. It's the moment to act, to get to the safest place possible, and to stay there until the danger passes. The rare use of this alert is what gives it power. When the emergency tag appears, the threat is real, and every second counts. A deep, upper-level trough carved out of the Rockies has set the stage for this outbreak, pushing a powerful jet stream eastward into the Central Plains. At the surface, warm, humid air is streaming north from the Gulf of Mexico, raising dew points into the low to mid-70s Fahrenheit across Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. This surge of moisture is more than just uncomfortable, it's fuel. Combined with afternoon temperatures, it pushes convective available potential energy, or CAPE, above 3,000 joules per kilogram in the heart of the threat zone. That level of instability means the atmosphere is loaded with potential for explosive storm growth. But energy alone doesn't produce tornadoes. The wind profile today is a textbook setup for rotating storms. Low-level winds, measured at about 1,000 feet above the ground, are racing at 40 to 45 knots. Higher up, in the mid-levels, the wind speed jumps to between 50 and 70 knots, creating strong vertical wind shear. This difference in wind speed and direction with height is what allows thunderstorms to develop persistent, rotating updrafts, supercells, the type most likely to produce violent, long-track tornadoes. Forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center have responded by issuing a high-risk outlook, the highest level in their system. That designation is rare. On average, it's used fewer than 5 days each year nationwide. When it appears, it means forecasters see all the ingredients for a dangerous event coming together at once. The combination of deep trough, rich Gulf moisture, extreme instability, and powerful shear signals an atmosphere primed not just for severe storms, but for tornadoes capable of causing catastrophic damage. The science behind the warnings is as clear as it gets. This is a day where the atmosphere itself is sounding the alarm. From the Oklahoma border to the Iowa cornfields, the threat corridor stretches in a jagged line through Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. This is the heart of the warning zone, a region where supercells can cross entire counties in less than half an hour. On days like this, the storms do not crawl. They race northeast at speeds between 40 and 60 miles per hour. For anyone in their path, the difference between safety and disaster is measured in minutes. The average tornado warning in this region gives people about 13 to 15 minutes to reach shelter, though in some towns, the siren-to-impact window can shrink to just 8 or 10. That is barely enough time to grab shoes, wake up a child, or help a neighbor to a basement. With millions living along this corridor, every warning triggers a chain reaction. Emergency managers activate response plans the moment the alert goes out. Fire stations and city halls open their doors as public shelters. Volunteer spotters scramble to confirm reports, relaying ground truth back to the National Weather Service. Police and firefighters prepare for search and rescue before the first call for help even comes in. For residents, hesitation can be fatal. These storms close the gap between warning and impact so quickly that waiting even a minute can mean being overtaken by flying debris or collapsing walls. The reality is stark. In the high-risk corridor, the storm often moves faster than fear, and sometimes faster than hope. The break between disasters lasted barely 2 days. On June 11th, the Omaha and Valley region faced a barrage of warnings, 6 for tornadoes, 17 for severe thunderstorms, and 4 for flash floods. Multiple tornadoes swept through southeast Nebraska and southwest Iowa, with wind gusts topping 80 miles per hour and hail larger than baseballs. Power lines fell by the thousands, leaving entire neighborhoods in the dark. In Des Moines, a tree crashed into a homeless encampment, taking a life and underscoring how quickly vulnerability can turn fatal. Utility crews and first responders worked through the night, but the scale of the outages and debris meant that many repairs were still unfinished as the next threat appeared on the radar. Emergency shelters, already stretched, faced another surge of need. The region had no real window to recover, no chance for nerves to settle, or for resources to reset. As the second round of storms moved in, it struck a Midwest already running on empty, with communities and emergency systems still reeling from the last blow. Once the storm clears, the work of understanding its true impact begins. National Weather Service survey teams move in, following the tornado's path to inspect every sign of damage. They look at houses, schools, trees, and vehicles, each one a clue to the storm's strength. The enhanced Fujita scale guides this process, rating tornadoes from EF0, with winds as low as 65 miles per hour, up to EF5, where speeds can top 200 miles per hour. Surveyors match what they see on the ground to specific damage indicators, then assign a degree of damage before estimating the wind speeds that caused it. Official ratings are released only after this careful review, sometimes within a day, sometimes longer if the track is long or the debris is widespread. But as teams work, the larger weather pattern refuses to settle down. The same trough and Gulf moisture that fueled this outbreak remain in place, keeping the atmosphere primed for more storms. Forecasters warn that additional rounds of severe weather are possible in the days ahead. For Midwest residents, that means staying ready. NOAA weather radios, local alerts, and clear shelter plans are not just suggestions, they're essential. The cycle of warning and response continues, and the need for vigilance does not end with the storm's passing. Today, tornado emergencies remain rare, less than 1% of all warnings. Yet, as severe seasons grow more intense, communities face shrinking margins for survival. The next siren is not a distant threat, it is tomorrow's reality. We are not waiting for history, we are living it. Stay aware, stay prepared. Your safety depends on it.